Today's podcast, the title is 5 Reasons You Can't Quit Yet. 5 Reasons You Can't Quit Yet. Now, before a bunch of you start jumping to a bunch of conclusions and getting in your own head about how I phrased it, you can't quit yet, let me explain what I mean by that. In my business, very similar to your business or the industry that you're in, eventually, we'll just go back to my business. In my business, in my industry, eventually everybody quits. Everybody quits. They either A, build a business that's so successful that they can eventually step back or do other things and they quit working altogether, or B, they just quit along the way when things get hard.
Didn't even get to cross.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Momentum Monday. My name is Steve Holbrook, and if you're watching this on YouTube today, you'll notice that there's a little different background. I'm out here at our family's residence out at Dog Pound, Alberta, and decided to film this podcast outside. So if you're listening to this on podcast, you might hear some birds, might hear the odd cow, might hear a couple horses, but nonetheless, there's no place I would rather be right now than right here today in Dog Pound. So I appreciate you guys being on the podcast today or watching on YouTube. I'm super excited about today's episode. If you haven't gone to iTunes or Spotify to rate us or to comment, we'd really appreciate if you did that. This podcast has really taken a life of its own, and I get hundreds of DMs every single week with feedback and things that you guys want me to talk about. So I appreciate all the feedback, and I love you guys, and I'm excited about today's episode. So let's get into it. Today's podcast, the title is 5 Reasons You Can't Quit Yet. 5 Reasons You Can't Quit Yet. Now, before a bunch of you start jumping to a bunch of conclusions and getting in your own head about how I phrased it, you can't quit yet, let me explain what I mean by that. In my business, very similar to your business or the industry that you're in, eventually, we'll just go back to my business. In my business, in my industry, eventually everybody quits. Everybody quits. They either A, build a business that's so successful that they can eventually step back or do other things and they quit working altogether, or B, they just quit along the way when things get hard. But eventually everybody quits. The difference is that the champions don't quit until they plan to. The champions don't quit until they plan to. And that's what we're talking about. So the first thing I want to talk about is your dream. What's your dream? What's your dream? What do you want? And what platform are you going to use? See, I'm not my business, right? I'm Steve Holbrook, but I've chosen a platform that I've used to go and buy my life back. I just happen to think it's the best platform in the world to go and leverage so that I can accomplish all my goals and dreams. Is it the perfect business? No. Is it the best for me? Yeah. 14 years ago, I was making $11 an hour as a baker. I was broke. I had no business acumen. I was young, I was immature, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I got into business and I had a dream. I had a dream since I was a kid. I had a dream to get paid what I was worth. I had a dream to have some ownership or have control of my life. I have severe Crohn's disease. And my whole life, it felt like it's been out of control. So I wanted something that I could be in control of. I always wanted to be significant in other people's lives. I wanted to feel like I was making a difference. I wanted to know in my heart that I was impacting people in a positive way. I wanted to be an impact maker, not just for the people around me, but for the entire community. And I wanted to raise my family on my terms. And in order to do that, I needed to become financially independent in my 30s. That was my ultimate goal. I thought, man, if I can be financially independent in my 30s, what a life we could live. What an example for our children we could lead. Great relationship around money, no anxiety around money. Having control of time, having control of income, having control of experiences, all the contribution, all the significance. That's what I was looking for. And today, 14 years later into our business, we have 3 beautiful kids. I'm married to an unbelievable woman. We decided to homeschool our kids because we're going to do some traveling as a family, right? Not just around the world, but also locally to open up offices in our country. And it's been a dream of ours. So we're living our dream. We're living our life on our terms. And now we have hundreds of certified reps across Canada, now into the US. We have tons of money saved. We have great cash flow, and we're fired up. We're super grateful. We're super grateful for everything that we've been blessed with. our great business, our great team, our great family, and even the challenges. We're so blessed for those challenges. But what's your dream? What's your dream? What do you want? And what platform are you going to use to get it? You got to figure that out. Because I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you can't quit yet. Number 1 reason, remember who's watching. And I don't want this to sound cliche. There's that meme that's going around the internet with the lioness looking at her cub and saying, "Hey, right before you quit, remember who's watching." I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you. Remember who's watching you. Remember who you've already told that you're going to do this. Your mom, your dad, your partner. And as much as they're supporting you and as much as they love you and they care about you, they're watching. Your kids, you might think they're young, but they'll know. They're watching, right? Maybe your friends. Here's the point. Everybody's watching. They might not all be judging you, although many are, but just because they're not judging you doesn't mean they're not watching you. And they're waiting to see how long you're going to last in this one, when you're going to quit. And that's the truth. And you know that's true. And you can use that as stress and pressure and fear, or you can use that to fire you up. And you can pretend that this is your 4th quarter, that there's 2 minutes left on the clock, and the game ball is in your hand. If you could put that game ball in anybody's hand, you should want that game ball in your hand. You want to know why? Because everybody's watching. Everybody's watching. You can't quit yet. Number 2, because if not you, then who? Like if you don't go and build it, if you don't go and build your dream for your family, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? It's your dream. It's your life. It's your destiny. It's your opportunity to break that cycle. Remember a while ago, you told yourself that you were going to be the one in your family to break that cycle? Whether that was the bad relationship that your family's had with money or anxiety or depression. Remember, you were going to be the one. You were going to be the difference maker. You were going to make sure things change for the next generation. Maybe your family needs to become a safer place. Maybe there's some things that you don't really love about the legacy of your family. You are supposed to be the difference maker. So if you don't do it, who's going to do it? See, I decided a long time ago that although I love my father and what a legacy that he's built, and my grandfather, I mean, wow, I couldn't imagine better men in my life. I can't wait for them to do this for me. It's my life. I don't know when my time's up. You don't know when your time's up. You can't wait anymore for somebody to get this going for you. You have to do it. Because if not you, then who? My 3rd point. You didn't need it to be easy. You needed it to be possible. I'm going to repeat that. You didn't need it to be easy. You needed it to be possible. Man, when you signed up to be a dreamer, right? When you registered to be a dreamer, the day that you were born, you can't honestly tell me that when your emotions are low and you're thinking straight, you can't honestly tell me that you wanted it to be easy. Because you know that easy is short term. Easy is quick money and then it's done. You wanted it to be possible. You wanted to build a real business. You wanted to build a real life. You wanted to build a real legacy. You should be praising God every day that it's possible. Don't ask for it to be easy. Just thank God it's possible. Point number 4. Because everyone quits. And you were born to be different. I don't know about you, but I believe that every single person was born to do great things. Yet, why is it that over 90% of people that you know and that I know, and sometimes even ourselves, why is it that over 90% of people are stuck in this cycle of mediocrity? This cycle of average, just a little bit overweight, relationship just a little bit too comfortable, a little bit too much anxiety, a little bit too much living in fear, a little bit too much living in the past. And it paralyzes these people. And it's like wearing shackles in a prison in our own life. And then, eventually, we quit on everything. and it becomes a pattern in people's lives. See, everybody's good at starting things, but who's good at finishing? Who are the finishers? See, the finishers in life are the ones that get all the goodies. It's evident in sports. If you can close out a game, if you're going to get the basketball with 2 seconds left because you're the one they want to throw that three-pointer to beat the buzzer, you get paid a lot of money to do that. Young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that are rising up in the entrepreneur world, these are finishers. These are people that can make a decision to get the job done. How about the President of the United States? A fairly coveted job. It's a very important job. A life or death questions that have to get answered every single day. He gets paid to finish. How about a corporate world job? If you want to climb the ladder of a corporation, you're going to get promoted as a leader if you can make decisions to get stuff done. That's how it works. So my question is, what's the reputation that you have? What's the reputation that you have? Be different. Don't quit, because everybody quits. And that's not you, because you were born to be different. My fifth and my last point. Number 5. Because the job isn't done yet. You can't quit because the job's not done yet. I mean, what else do I need to say? You still have a need for significance in your life. You still have more room to grow. You still want to contribute more. You're not where you want to be wealth-wise. You're not earning as much cash flow. You can't take the trips that you want to take the way you want to take them. You don't have the money saved that you need to. The legacy's not built yet. It's not fulfilled yet. If the job's not done yet, you can't quit. Since when did quitting even become an option? You can't quit until the job gets done. That should be a core value of yours. The job gets done, you can quit. You can move on. You can start something new. You don't need a new project. You need to finish the last one you started. And that's it. You quit when the job gets done. It's that simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. So keep your mindset strong around that. Guys, I hope you guys got some value out of today's podcast. If you liked it, please feel free to share it on social media. Tag me on Instagram at Holbrook World or on Facebook. Share it. If you wouldn't mind giving me a rating or a review, I'd really appreciate that. It goes a long way. And if you have any suggestions for content, right, fire me a direct message on Instagram. So I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day, and I look forward to another powerful episode.